Hey, all you awesome plane people out there. Steve here again. We're back at it with another D side special. Giving some love to the radar associate, the D side, the non-radar controller, whatever you call it at your facility. We wear many hats as a D side here at San Juan, and today we are going over, well, the ANNER, Boleyn Bay, and other royal pains, an attempt to prevent you, D2 and D8, from losing your head, quite literally, at 12 noon on a Saturday in the sector. So just a little preview. We're going to have some fun. We're going to keep our wits about us. And in the meantime, just enjoy this wonderful picture of the JetBlue Airbus A320 779 Juliet Bravo. My name is Steve. I'm going to be your guide. We're going to get through this together, whether you're in stage training at San Juan, you're slated to have some stage training. Maybe you already got a D side down. Maybe you have D4 and D6 down, and you're going to be moving to the D2 and 8 environment. And obviously the OJT environment factor is at play as well. So let's have a great time. And the next slide, we'll jump right in. See you there. All right, so we know today's challenges are one, not to lose your head when you are sitting in D2 and D8 noon on a Saturday, but also the secondary challenge, be the D side your grandma thinks you are. There you go. That's an adorable thought, right? Your grandma telling all of her friends, your grandfather, what a wonderful D side you are, if they even have a concept of what it is. But that's what makes the thought adorable. We're going to jump right into the ALASK ANNER Bay. The water's warm, solving conflicts in one of our center's most rigid hotspots. There certainly is some fun to be had, so we're definitely, that's a given. We're going to have some fun tonight. Just don't think outside the box, right? Just think as if the box was never there in the first place. And you'll be great friends with Piarco and Mike Attia by the time this PowerPoint is over. You'll be familiar with their little idiosyncrasies, their their accents, their mannerisms, their the way they conduct themselves on the telephone. You'll be kind of familiar with that as best as a PowerPoint can do. So next slide is going to be an actual little freeze frame of the sector. So we're going to jump right into the ALASK ANNER Bay, and I will see you there. Look at this sick setup, right? So we're back at it. ALASK ANNER Bay to the left, the D8 proposal bay to your right, and a little freeze frame of a clock. The clock obviously not moving. We are frozen in time. We are working in a Peachtree disk. We are working in a vacuum, right? So 1640, give or take, is the time we're dealing with, and we are met with this. We're sitting on position. We're plugged in. So far, no phone lines are ringing. We're just hanging out, having a great time, and we take a look what the situation has us. We have an AM flight 6916. Looks like they have a VDIS restriction at 11 and their radar identified. That's wonderful. Now, like I said, we probably got this in the briefing anyways, but it's good. Let's just get on the same page. We have Carolines 43 on frequency at 41,000 feet, 410, and they are radar identified, which is great. And KLM 129, they're also on frequency, so they're somewhere out there at flight level 400, and they have a good time for MyLock, and obviously they're under radar surveillance as well. In the proposal bay, we have three candidates looking like an Iberia from MyLock, an Air France from MyLock, and a TAM from ANNER. So things are looking good for our scene to be set. So I think we're going to start making some moves at the next slide. So I will definitely see you there. All right, so the stage is set, right? Lights, camera, and action is coming up. Yet again, keep in mind, don't lose your head and make grandma proud. Okay, we have some work to do. Take note of the time, 1640 straight up. If there's anything you offset, keep that in mind. Let's determine the priorities. What do we have to do? And here's a good technique. Now, mind you, it's a technique. Let's choose our battles wisely, right? Know what we're dealing with. Know the facilities we're dealing with, right? We are going to learn that. Well, you won't learn it right away in training. You're going to go downstairs and everything is going to sound the same because the RPO is playing the part of those facilities. But when you sit down for your first session and you deal with both Piarco and Mike Attia, you're going to learn that there is a big disparity between talking to somebody inside the radar lab and talking to the actual controllers in real life. But that's okay. Just have that suspension of disbelief and just, increase your capacity for astonishment. You are now, who are you looking to call? Don't say Ghostbusters. Bill Murray, he's not here. Do you know the phone numbers? This is a great time for you to go over your MIVA lines, your dial lines. Do you know where they're at on the ETVS? Do you know where they're at? Do you know what an ETVS is? You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind, because unlike some of the presentations we've had in the past where we break down each action by a bulleted list, we're going to go right in. We're going to go straight forward from the time of the first phone call, and we're going to see this the whole way out. So it's a little bit different of a format. We'll probably stop and talk about things a little bit more, be a little more choppy because we won't have that one slide to kind of reset and take an inventory of what's going on. But this should be fun. It might even make the click go guy a little faster. So I will see you at the sector again, and be ready to go because things are about to get real. All right, welcome back, you plain people. As you see, the clock went up like 2 minutes and 44 seconds just to keep up with a little bit of realism there. And sure enough, let's roll right into it. Click, click, offsets the strip. Good job. We have both KLM 129 and KLM 483 now within the hour to coordinate. So that's perfect. So wonderful. We only have 3 flights going, one of which is already radar identified as a radar arrival. So you're not going to be doing much with that. Maybe pulling it whenever your R side does the frequency change to approach. But now, good, wonderful. So remember what I said, that big asterisk, that technique of choosing your battles. Well, I think choosing your battles wisely is what's going to keep you sane, keep your head on your shoulders throughout this session. So my first and primary priority is boom, numero uno. Let's call Mike Attia first. You call Mike Attia, just kind of be aware that this phone call can be as quick as 2 minutes or as long as 10. You're looking at a 2 to 10 minute affair, and that is a wide range of time to get tied up over one aircraft, right? But just keep in mind, that's what it is. That's the reality. That's the world we live in when we work with that facility in particular. And it's nothing against them. It is just the nature of the coordination. It's the nature of the way our facilities have interface or lack thereof. So that kind of narrows it down to boom. Number 2, PRCO is a tad more predictable and exponentially more reliable than Mike Attia. Now, it's nothing against them. It's just that truth. It's just a known truth. So we can do this next. Let's get the hard part out of the way first, right? You'd probably want it that way. Get the tough part, the most challenging part out of the way first, and then we will move on to what is seemingly going to be less difficult out of these 2 choices. So I will see you at the next slide for some coordinating. Psych, we do have a bulleted list, which is wonderful because it's good to take a small inventory. I think the rest is going to be choppy the whole way through. So we're well on our way to making our grandma proud. Are you mentally prepared for this? You never really are with Mike Attia. You can be as chipper, positive, and eager and ambitious as a person can be. And believe me, this will just take your soul and crunch it up in little pieces and scatter them throughout the South Caribbean. Mike Attia Center, SVZM, Sierra Victor Zulu Mike, they have a ring line, which is good, relatively new to our center. If no, Joy, you can try the MIVA lines, 8001, 8002, and 8003. You know Spanish? I don't. I've been working here for 5 years. I've been living here for 5 years. I'm not real proud of that, but if not, that's okay. Well, it might be a little tougher. Just kidding. It's not. Nah, I'm not kidding. It very well may be. Sometimes if you're a Spanish speaker, things go so much easier when dealing with Mike Attia, but that's okay. Spanish speaker or not, we are going to do this using our common tongue. So just a little joke there, a little bit of humor just to break up the seriousness of the situation. Let's dive into some coordinating at the sector level. See you there. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are. We are ready for this phone call. We are sitting down on position, plugged in. The ETBS is at our disposal. We're going to reach up. We're going to hit SVZM ring. It's going to start ringing, and boom, here we go. Ring. We're met with this. Mike Attia Center. Sometimes Mike Attia, sometimes they say center, sometimes they don't. It's okay. So far, so good, right? We're okay. San Juan Center. Estimate Mylock, KLM 129, right? Your diction, your phraseology should be very standard. They are listening for aviation English. They're looking for that phraseology. Try not to go too far outside the spectrum of aviation terminology, right? Or, of terms that are standard. KLM 129, no flight plan, go ahead details. Shucks, we don't have it. That's okay, don't panic, right? This is a simple flight plan to transfer, right? We know that KLM 120 is landing somewhere down in Curaçao's airspace while they're landing Hato International. So you should be kind of familiar about Curaçao's airspace, the airports that lie within the confines of their airspace. So Don't panic there. This is a perfect opportunity for you to practice forwarding flight plan information to foreign facilities. Perfect. And they're ready. They didn't even tell you to stand by. They just knew they didn't have it. So you're going to go KLM 129, heavy Boeing 78 X-ray. I'd be proud if you said brand new Boeing 787 Dreamliner 10, but that's okay. Departed Amsterdam, right? Echo Hotel Alpha Mike landing. Curacao via Mylock Amber 516 Acora. Now, you might ask, why don't you get the full flight plan? Well, it would behoove you to learn some of the boundary fixes between other centers that share a common boundary. Curacao and Venezuela have a fix called Acora. It is on the boundary between their two centers on Amber 516. Mike Atia is going to be listening for something that is familiar to them. So Amber 516, Acora, they know, hey, whatever after Acora, I really don't care because that's all I need to know, right? Because it's based upon the assumption that since Mike Atia doesn't have the flight plan, they will pass up everything they know about that aircraft to Curacao, and Curacao surely has it, and if not, it's another easy copy for them to take in. So they're listening for Acora. Acora is familiar. It's known to them. So that's just a technique. You can say Amber 516 all the way to Curacao. I'm sure they'd be none the wiser. Mylock time and level. So they're ready to go. And estimate Mylock 1740. Flight level 400. Squawk 4122. Talking and writing. You know what I mean? We hold off on circling the altitude until we know that it is approved, right? So we have our double ender out, the red end up, and sure enough, that's it. Let's wait for the reply. Mylock 1740. Flight level 400 approved. I have two for you. Shucks. That's okay. Good. Guess what? We're done. Our business is approved. We looked at the DA proposal bay here at least a couple slides ago, so it's not outside the area of being astonished that they have two estimates for us when we had two Mylock guys hanging out in there, and it's 1640 or give or take. So now it's our turn to take estimates from a foreign facility. So let's get prepared. Mentally prepare yourself for some fun to be had, maybe some conflicts to solve, but this is where the learning happens. So I know I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'll see you at the next slide, and we're going to take these estimates from Mike Atia right away. Awesome. So we're ready, but not without following through first. Now, I don't think I've emphasized this enough in the presentations about the idea of following through, right? Follow through. So boom, you circled everything. Everything's boom. Clicky, clicky goes the flight progress strippy. Nice. So you flatten that. That's done. And we still have, obviously, Carolina's 43 offset for our Carl Piarco and flight still hanging out there. And boom, we're ready for there. Roger, go ahead with the first, right? Mind you, we are still on the line with Mike Atia, still hot with them in our ear. And we're going to say, Roger, go ahead with the first, right? So there's not a lot of standard phraseology when we deal with this from back and forth. Some of this is you're going to have to think of it on your own. But like I said before, be brief. Be thorough, try to be as clear as possible, try to make it as simple as possible. So you'll learn what to say, you'll learn your go-to phrases, you'll learn what you can say and what will cause a little bit of confusion, introduce some ambiguity into the dialogue, but that's okay, that's how you learn. And Air France 423 Mylock. Good, we're going to pause right here, we're going to go over to a strip where it's a dedicated ALASK ANNER bay on the next slide, so I will see you there. Keep in mind, we're paused. Air France 423 Mylock, get ready to go. Boom, here we are. Nice, clean little sector here. We got rid of the AM flight. Let's just say they're gone. Maybe approach took the handoff nice and early. So you have three strips here now, and everybody's kind of lined up in tandem and good. Here we go. We're going with the conversation. Mylock at 1712, flight level 410. Quick. Now, think. 1712, flight level 410. We know we have a 41 hanging out in there anyways. If not, it's abundantly clear now. We look at the time, we look at the altitude. Good. We look at the bay, 41. Carolina's at 41. The RAFI ANNER area is the area we're scanning for conflict. Now, you should be knowing your map by now, and you should know your plus times. You're going to throw 10 at 712, and you're going to get 1722. You have 7 minutes of crossing in the RAFI ANNER area. That's no good. This is your time. This is your time to shine. You're the D side. You're the non-radar controller. You're the manual controller. You have the sector's back, right? You are going to have the picture of what the sector looks like anywhere from 15 minutes all the way up to an hour in advance. So this is your time to shine. Protect our airspace, protect your R side, protect the person who would be getting you out, protect the next person who's getting the R side out. This is your time to shine. Quick and easy math. Add 10 minutes, 17:22. That's the time that you're looking for. That is in the window of conflict there, and it's no good. So what are you going to reply with? MyLock 1712, unable, right? Make that very clear. You have to say unable, unable. Flight level 410 due to traffic. Flight level 390 is approved. Now, some people would say, well, Steve, shouldn't we be giving a high option? Well, after 41 goes 43, right? Because we're at 2,000 feet of separated airspace. And no doubt, a Dreamliner is very capable of flight level 430, but we're going to go right for it. So the next one will be 45. Now, I don't think the Dreamliner departing Bogota is going to go up to 41 on their way to Paris. So we're just going to stick with a stratum that seems reasonable. This kind of goes back to aircraft characteristics, just knowing what aircraft can do, knowing the capabilities of the aircraft that fly in your sector. And look, these guys are all commercial airliners that transit our airspace very often. You're going to get used to seeing what altitudes they foul at. You're going to get used to the Mach numbers they request. You're going to be surprised at how well you'll know some of these customers of ours. So far, so good. You protected the box. 41's no good. So you cross it out, right? All in the act of talking and writing, and you write 39, right? That's it. That's what it's going to be. 39 it is. And it's a fine altitude. You can get them higher. The radar can get them higher once we figure out that it's no longer a factor. So let's hang out here and let's move on to the next slide here and continue on working through this conflict. I'll see you there. Okay, so we moved on, right? Just a little tagline. We forgot to say approved. I mean, we said it, but I mean, just not with the script. If you see that pop up there. Besides, I think I was in the box anyways below it. So, boom, go ahead next estimate. Like I said, this is your script. This is what you're formulating as you go. Go ahead next estimate. Something simple, a very simple phrase. Say, I'm ready for the next piece of information. Iberia 6346 MyLock. Fair enough. Iberia 6346 MyLock time and level. Iberia's estimate MyLock at 1718, flight level 390. So we scribe in our 1718390. Now, piece of cake, right? 39 should be fresh in our head, right? We knew Air France couldn't get 41. We had to bump down to 39. So even though Mike Attia may not know that, right, they are still based upon, they're not trying to sell you a deal. They're not being vindictive or even aggressive, trying to set you up for failure. No, because guess what? Mike Attia has radar, and two aircraft at 39,000 feet leaving their airspace is perfectly reasonable. These aircraft probably do have radar separation, but if you read the LOA and you know the standards that we need to apply, then they don't when they enter our airspace, right? Even though they have reasonable expectation that they'll be radar identified when they hit our airspace, that's an argument for a different day. But piece of cake, you only have 6 minutes in trail. Guess what? You have to go vertical. And guess what? Very simple. Is 37 available? You quickly scan your bay. You see that Caribbean's is a 41. He was traffic with them. You had to bump Air France down to 39. 37 is available. So you're going to reply with MyLock at 1718, unable, flight level 390, right? Don't state the reason why. It's okay. You're not trying to make a fool out of them, right? Flight level 370 approved. And that's it. And you cross it out. You write in 37, right? Very simple. Now, the high option would have been 41, but we don't know that. So yet again, we are dealing with the best possible situation we can give that aircraft, the best possible altitude we can, which is in this case is flight level 370. Perfect. That's really good. And that's what you hit them back with. Roger, flight level 370 is approved. All the while, just don't forget giving your operating initials. They may not give theirs, but that's okay. So good job. You have just not only given Mike Attia an estimate, but you have been able to take two estimates from them and be able to solve a conflict to make the sector flow a lot easier and to make your R-side jobs a lot easier, and not to mention doing all these people a good service as well. So I will see you at the next slide, and we're going to keep rolling with this. No pauses. full throttle all the way through to the end till we make this bay a flat and happy bay. All right, I will see you there. Boom, look at that. Nice job. That is certainly one good looking bay. So way to go. Guess what you just did? In the meantime, you're mentally preparing yourself to dial up PRCO. We know the MEVA lines. We've studied that one before. Your A side's just on point. Your A side's an F in Pro. Your A side might even be a certified B side. Look at them. They got your strips you needed. Look at that. Iberia 6346, Air France 423. They pre-planned some verify for your R side around. Hey, you're going to verify this guy 60 degrees. West, that's wonderful. Getting ready with that, complying with the New York LOA, and sure enough, now our last targeted curb line is 483. Last guy to do, and guess what? We can hang our hat and call this a good session. So curb line 483 is next. Let's get ready to dial up PRCO. So let's do it now. Onwards and upwards. I'll see you there. All right, almost done. When this session is over, you'll be able to call and tell your grandma, hey, you know what? I was a good D side today, grandma. So great job with the Venezuelans. Wonderful. Wonderful, lovely facility. You just have to kind of be in the mood to work with them. And sometimes that status of mood is few and far and in between. So, okay, PRCO Center, TTZP, right? So we have 2 lines dedicated for them. We have a D4 line because Lampkin is a common boundary with them for Sector 4. And we have a 2 and 8 line for fixes anything but Lampkin, right? So you can make your way, Elopo, Zapata, Gabar, Hillary, Modix, Anada, GC. I think that's all of them. The hard part of the scenario is over. Or is it? We'll see. Let's dial them up and let's find out. All right, so here we are. We have our ALASK ANNER bay here yet again. We have all the garbage out, and we have lots of flat strips. We have a lot of good-looking strips that are the result of our hard handiwork. And here we are with KMIS 483. So here we go. Ring, ring, ring. That's the way the phone goes, right? PRCO Center, easy enough. Things are looking smooth already. San Juan Center, that's been another KMIS 483. Very good. You don't have to be too fast. Just speak slowly. They know this aircraft. It lands the airport at which the center is based at. They know this guy. So, boom. And look what they're going to say. And this is known to happen. PRCO is always good for this way. I have one for you when you're finished. KMIS 483 and not a time and level. Good. So guess what they did? They just prepped your mental state. They just tweaked it a little bit, saying, hey, guess what? When I'm done giving this estimate, I have to be prepared to take an estimate from them. Okay, so we knew we had that hanging out there. It's probably that TAM 8186. Actually, it is. I'll just tell you now. But that TAM 8186 is waiting for our service. But guess what? All too often when we work D2 and D8, especially as the scenario I described at 12 on a Saturday, you let your mind wander. You let your mind go off and somewhere thinking about the next task. And this is a distraction. You're like, oh, crap, he has something for me. I wonder what it is. I hope I don't have traffic. Am I going to be able to separate this? All this crazy stuff going from one side of your head to the other. But you have to focus in and of the moment because you don't want to go back and do it again. First off, you don't want to make a mistake, right? Second off, you don't want to have to ask to be repeated, ask for them to repeat themselves. You don't want to have to go back. You don't have to tell your R side or hey, you know what I mean? You just want to be able to focus in and of the moment, focus in on this one particular task, get the coordination done, reconcile whatever you need to reconcile, and then move on. Because if you do make mistakes, and mistakes do happen, and sure enough, you will make mistakes. Crap, we all make mistakes. Been certified, been working in San Juan for 5 years, still make mistakes. And believe me, it's such a pain in the butt to leave a phone call, making, feeling like you did the job right, and sure enough, you messed up something. Maybe the route of flight was bad, or maybe you didn't scan properly for traffic. Now you have to go back and do it all over again and hope that the controller is available to talk to you. You're not going to get caught with a busy signal. There's a whole bunch of Pandora's boxes of things that can go down. So try to do it right the first time. Be thorough, be correct, be brief, and then move on. So we're going to do that. So we're going to concentrate on KMIS 483, not worried about whatever they have for us. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And I promise you we will, and we'll do it very properly, thoroughly, and successfully. ANNER 1740, flight level 410, squawk 6565. And sure enough, we write and we talk 6565, 1740. We wait for the altitude, and they're going to hit us back with a ANNER 1740. Flight level 410 approved. Caroline's 483. Perfect. Next move is to follow through and just flatten that guy. It's the most tempting thing to do right now. Well, hey, we just have that wonderful feeling of satisfaction rush over us, like getting caught in a rainstorm in El Yunque, right? Getting caught in a rainstorm in the rainforest. What a unique and exquisite experience. So we flatten that guy. It is that symbolic, metaphorical act of being done. That is a great coordination that we just completed. And sure enough, now we are ready to accommodate the request, the estimate that Piarco has for us. So click, click goes the strip. You move it in there with your fist, a very powerful fist, right? And sure enough, boom, go ahead. Estimate Piarco, right? Like I said, no set script for this. You are doing what you feel is right. Just make it quick, brief, and to the point, and very just limit your ambiguous, right? Just say, hey, I'm ready to go with whatever you got for me. Sure enough, TAM 8186, lucky guess, right? Well, scenario. Okay, so picking up where we left off, we are going to finish this phone call. We just gave that wonderful feeling of satisfaction. We're riding that high and we're ready to give whatever Piarco Center gives us. We know we have TAM 8186. We have it offset in the bay. We have our double-ended pen ready and we are listening attentively. TAM 8186, a nada time and level is our response. Very simple. Estimating a nada at 1720, flight level 400, and we are writing and talking, right? 1720, flight level 400. And as they end, as soon as you hear flight level 400 and you hear that pause that they have stopped their sentence, right? It's the imaginary period in their sentence, and now you are scanning your bay. Well, look, we have a 39, 37, 41, boom, 40. Yikes. Okay, good, nice. Now here we go. Let's get into gear. Yet again, simple map knowledge and math. Add 10 minutes to the ANNER estimate, and now the sum of that will present you with the crossing conflict area, the RAC, the ANNER hotspot that we know, right? Every center has hotspots, right? I mean, we know that every tower and airport has hotspots, right? You go into the facility or the chart supplement, and every airport seems to have these hotspots outlined. Well, centers are no different, right? Just like taxiways and runways and ramps have areas where it's prone to congestion, well, so is this. So this is no different. It's your time to shine, your time to protect the sector. ANNER 1720, unable, flight level 400 due to traffic, flight level 380, 430. Nice, you gave options. Knowing aircraft characteristics, TAM happens to be a heavy Airbus A350, brand spanking new, or at least relatively, and fully capable of flight level 430. And since both altitudes that you give are right for direction of flight, it's perfectly reasonable. And Piarco hits you back with Roger, TAM 8186, flight level 380. Good. As you see, you also crossed out 40, right, because it's not available. And they hit you back relatively quickly with that altitude. You can go TAM 816 and on 1720, flight level 380 is approved. Give those initials, and I believe you write on the strip 38, and that's it. Perfect. Done. Wonderful. You just fully negotiated your way through very intense coordination. Now, granted, we're about 28 minutes into this presentation, and all of this, when you first sit down and train, whether it's at the downstairs in the Dyson for the stage training or whenever you're upstairs just starting OJTI, this may seem like an eternity, right? This might feel like all of this greatly laborious hurdles that you went through. But you'd be surprised when you start getting good and start really enjoying yourself when you sit down for a D2 and H session, how fast this will go. So don't get discouraged and continue to study. And this is what you want to aim for. You want to aim for this mark of efficiency. So let's take a look at our end product in the next slide. I will see you there. One saying you'll never get tired of hearing is, Toma, great job with that. However, you lost about 0.33333 line into infinity years of your life because you had to deal with Mike Attia and Piarco. Meanwhile, there's probably at least 3 other lines ringing. You probably have a pending handoff from Santo Domingo, 2 estimates from Curacao, and you're tied up on the line with both Mike Attia and Piarco for the last 10 minutes. But that's okay. That's the way it is. That's the reality that you want to prepare for. And The point of this training and the point of being prepared is not to scare you away from it or to make you apprehensive about dealing with, but it's about building your confidence, saying, hey, guess what? I can do this. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get control of this sector, right? I know my first three calls. And guess what? When I'm done with that third one, guess what? I know the first three calls are going to take place after that. I got A, B, and C, D, E, and F on lock. I am a coordinating machine. Nothing can stop me. So yeah, you did a fantastic. And just picking up where I left off from that last slide, presenting you with this goat. That's you. You're the goat. You're the greatest of all time, man. You are the Duke Nukem of D sides. You are that person. Go ahead, call up your grandma and tell her, hey, you know what? I'm the goat, grandma. I'm the D side that you'd be proud of. And she's going to tell her friends at bingo, at church, at the supermarket, all about it. So how wonderful. Um, this has been. I know I had a good time. It's always fun digging in deep into the D side. It's one of those things that is a lost art. The D side here in San Juan is not anything you can really compare to in some of the facilities up in the States, and that's okay. Each facility is unique. You know what I mean? That's the great part about the NAS. That's the great part about being the controller. Especially when you see other controllers and you talk about it and you talk shop. It's one of the best times to talk about, hey, you know what, this is a little funny thing that takes place in my center, and it's interesting to hear about what takes place in yours. I hope you learned a little bit today. Just emphasize learning your plus times, knowing your points of intersection, knowing your airways, which airways make up those intersections, right? God knows we have enough airways here. We're trying to get rid of some, and then we feel like we just give you more to learn, but that's okay. Keeps you mentally flexible. I hope this is doing the trick. I hope this kind of prepares you for what to see when you will be in the lab. Granted, you will get plenty of practice at this. You're going to get plenty of practice downstairs in the lab for your radar associate problems. And believe me, you will get plenty of repetitions when you go up to the floor and deal with this. So I'm happy you join me, whether it's day, evening, or morning, wherever you're at. I hope you're doing well. This is Steve here, just reminding you to stay positive. Remember, your attitude should always be like your separation. Positive. There you go. You guys all take care, and I will see you at the next presentation. Bye now.